The Vikings! Fierce warriors, fearless explorers, and full-blown hygiene disasters with a thing for fermented shark and apparently public fart therapy. You've heard the legends, longships, raids, Odin's majestic beard, but you probably haven't heard about the guy brushing his teeth with charcoal while sitting next to a steaming pit of poop. Today, we're not talking about heroic sagas or noble conquests. No. We're digging up the bizarre, the gross, and the downright what in Odin's name were they thinking facts about Viking life. So grab your horned helmet, hold your nose, and let's sail into the 7 weird facts of Viking Norse nonsense. From lice fashion accessories to cheese made in moose guts. This isn't your history teacher's Viking lesson. This is the real stuff with extra stink and a whole lot of eyebrow raising. Let's dive in. Secrets of history. Truth buried like mystery. Two beats rolling with the funk unlock. Let's beat the past. Tick tock, tick tock. Weird fact number 1, Viking toilets, where privacy went to die. Forget porcelain thrones and scented candles. The Vikings had a much more rustic approach to bathroom etiquette. Their toilet strategy? Go whenever and wherever nature calls. And sometimes that call was right next to the kitchen. Seriously, they'd dig a latrine pit just a few feet from where they prepared their dinner. 1 minute you're stewing turnips, the next, whoosh, the breeze changes and suddenly dinner smells like something else entirely.
Smells like stew.
That's not stew, Bjorn. That's Uncle Rolf's morning offering.
Now, you'd think the people who braved the icy North Sea and chopped enemies in half would be a little tougher about their toilet locations. But nope, these fearless warriors were also fearless poopers. Viking villages were basically one gust of wind away from becoming Norse-themed chemical weapons labs. And to make things more intimate, these pits weren't even properly covered most of the time. Just a hole, some dirt, and the faint hope that no one would fall in during a midnight stumble. Romantic, right?
Smoky flavor?
That's not smoke, Sven. That's methane.
Weird fact number 2, magical moose cheese. Kind of. Right, let's talk Viking dairy. And no, this isn't your average cheese board with brie, crackers, and a nice glass of Merlot. This is more rustic. The Vikings believed that certain animal products gave you strength. Fermented dairy being one of their top contenders. And when I say fermented, I don't mean a bit tangy. I mean cheese that was aged in the actual stomach of an animal. You know, because nothing says delicious like curdled milk sloshing around in a warm moose gut. Apparently, the process went something like this. Take milk, shove it into a dead animal's stomach, wait, then serve with pride, and maybe a bit of straw still stuck to it. And don't go thinking they kept it chilled in a neat Viking mini fridge. No, refrigeration in the North was just shove it in a snowbank and pray the dog doesn't find it first.
This tastes like fear and wet fur.
Perfect. That means it's ripe.
Imagine sitting down to dinner and someone hands you a ladle of what looks like cheesy soup and smells like a barn got into a bar fight. It was protein, sure, but also probably a test of bravery. Forget magical mushrooms or ancient potions. Viking strength came from surviving the cheese course. Weird fact number 3, wings, check. Screams, check. It's Blood Eagle time. All right, buckle up. This one's not for the faint of heart or stomach. So the Vikings had a reputation for being tough. And then they went and invented this, the infamous Blood Eagle. No, not a cool wrestling move or a Nordic energy drink. This was an execution method so theatrical, so horrifically creative, it could have been directed by Quentin Tarantino's great-great-great-grand Viking. Here's the alleged process if you're brave enough. First, the victim, usually some unlucky noble or enemy, would be restrained, probably thinking,
This doesn't seem like a friendly meeting.
Then their back was sliced open along the spine. Yep. From there, the ribs were cracked outward to resemble wings. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, they pulled out the lungs and draped them over the shoulders like some grotesque wheezing cape. So yes, the Blood Eagle wasn't just metal, it was full-on Viking death metal with ribs. Historians still debate whether this was actually done or just legendary Viking PR to scare the pants off their enemies. But knowing how theatrical these Norse folks were and how much they loved a bit of flair with their murder, it's not totally out of the question. Honestly, if the Vikings had Instagram, this would have been their most liked execution post. Weird fact number 4. The itchy truth, Vikings versus skin dwarves. You know what the Vikings feared more than an axe to the face? A tiny invisible dwarf doing the Macarena in your bloodstream. That's right. According to Norse mythology, diseases weren't caused by germs or bad hygiene, which, let's be honest, they had plenty of. No, they believed that mysterious little dwarves would sneak in through your skin and set up shop inside your body, like mythological squatters in your spleen.
Doc, I've got this rash on my leg.
You've been dwarfed, Bjorn. Classic case. Gotta fumigate your kneecaps.
These weren't your friendly Disney-style dwarves either. These guys were more like, we broke into your liver, now we're hosting a Viking rave. And diagnosing it, good luck. You didn't get antibiotics. You got shouted at by the village healer, who probably rubbed moss on your face and declared, the dwarf is strong in this one.
Every time I sneeze, it sounds like a battle cry.
Yeah, that's probably 3 dwarves fighting over your sinuses.
Honestly, it's kind of impressive. The Vikings invented the idea of internal sabotage by fantasy creatures centuries before anyone had even heard of gut bacteria. So next time you feel a weird twitch, just remember, in Viking times, you weren't sick. You were being colonized by tiny myth gremlins.
Why is my back itchy?
Dwarves are probably remodeling your spine.
All right, let's pause for a second. We've survived cheese made in a moose's digestive tract, toilets that doubled as kitchen views, ending by lung removal, and skin dwarves causing havoc. So if you're still here, good work. You're either mildly unwell or exactly my kind of person. If you could help the channel grow by hitting that like button to show the algorithm you're into medieval nightmares, that would be great. And also subscribe so you don't miss the other historical weirdness. Let's dive back in. It only gets weirder from here. Weird fact number 5. Bones as combs, sometimes grandmas. Vikings were the kings of recycling before it was cool. And by recycling, I mean turning dear old Uncle Bjorn's skeleton into grooming accessories. Archaeologists have actually dug up combs made from human bones. That's right, someone was brushing their luscious locks with what used to be someone's rib cage.
Steve's shin bone really gets the tangles out.
It's what he would have wanted. Probably.
Now, before you judge, these weren't just your average bone picks. Viking bone combs were surprisingly well crafted, smooth, decorative, and weirdly personal, like too personal. Imagine giving your beard a majestic stroke and whispering, "Thanks, Grandma." And these combs weren't just for taming helmet hair. Oh no, they were multi-use tools. Hairstylers, lice removers, and fashion statements all in one. Viking hipsters basically invented the artisan grooming product, using the femur of someone they once shared stew with.
Nice comb.
Thanks. It used to be my cousin.
Cool. Got any made from your ex?
In short, the Vikings didn't let a good bone go to waste. When someone died, the real question wasn't where do we bury them? It was, do you want their forearm as a bracelet or a beard tool? Weird fact number 6. Vikings collected their enemies' fingernails because axes weren't creepy enough. You know you're dealing with a different level of please get therapy when your battlefield souvenir is Steve's index fingernail lovingly tucked into a little leather pouch. Yep. Some Vikings allegedly carried nail clippings and sometimes whole fingers of their enemies, not because they were out of room on their skull shelf, but because nothing says victory like a satchel full of cuticle bits.
You carry a photo of your loved ones? Nah, just Kevin's thumbnail. He screamed the whole time. Good times.
This wasn't just some twisted manicure hobby. Vikings believed nails had magical properties. In Norse mythology, the ship Naglfar, aka Doom Yacht, was made entirely from the uncut nails of the dead. That's right, miss a few trims and you're fueling the apocalypse.
So if I skip clipping for a week, I'm helping destroy the world. Exactly. And your toenails are definitely contributing to Ragnarok.
And this wasn't a rare thing. Archaeologists have found evidence of finger bones and nail clippings in warrior burial sites, which means somewhere in Viking history, there was a guy who showed up to battle with a blade in one hand and a nail file in the other.
You fight with honor? I fight with Steve's toenail. He was a size 12. Very lucky.
So next time someone gives you a weird look for biting your nails, just say you're saving the world and being less weird than a Viking. Weird fact number 7, beauty that could kill, literally. Move over, Sephora. Viking women were rocking the smoky eye look long before it was trendy, and way more toxic. They didn't just dab on some gentle charcoal. Nope, their eyeliner often included crushed lead-based minerals, because nothing says goddess of war like slowly poisoning yourself for that perfect winged look. Apparently, the Viking motto was, if your eyeliner doesn't give you vision loss, are you even trying?
Freya, your eyes are glowing.
Thank you. Also, I forgot where I live.
This wasn't just vanity either. Some sources suggest they believe the eyeliner warded off evil spirits, which frankly tracks. Because if I saw someone with glowing eyes and twitchy limbs from low-level lead poisoning, I'd probably flee too. The application process was basically Viking glam meets alchemy. They'd grind galena or other metallic ores, mix them with animal fat, and smear that magic mess around their eyes. Think ancient eyeliner meets a toxic science experiment applied with a bone stick, and Viking men wore it too, because real warriors aren't afraid of eyeliner or permanent nerve damage.
You look fierce, Ragnar. My face is numb, but fashion hurts.
So next time your mascara runs, be grateful it's not also slowly eating your central nervous system. Viking beauty was bold and just a little bit deadly. And there you have it. From moose cheese to poop pits, poison eyeliner, and disease-causing dwarves. The Vikings were wild, weird, and totally unbothered by basic hygiene. If you had a laugh, learned something you wish you could unlearn, or just enjoy hearing about history's strange side, hit that like button. It lets me know you're into this gloriously gross stuff. And subscribe if you want to see what other bizarre facts the past has been hiding from us. More weird history is on the way, because trust me, the Vikings were just the tip of the disgusting, hilarious iceberg. History proving humans have always been weird. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Secrets of history. Truth buried like mystery. Two beats rolling with the funk on lock. Let's beat the past. Tick tock, tick tock.